Hey everyone, this is Mackie again. I know it's been a while since I made a video, but I wanted to talk about the time that my mother almost got into a fist fight with with an elder. Okay, that used to be in our congregation a while back. Um, it was during the watchtower conducting the watchtower study, and during the entire watchtower study, he did not come. He did not. The whole time, me and my brother were raising our hands. We were sitting in the second row, or the second or third row. It was me, and then it was another family with their children. He didn't raise. He didn't answer none of their either. Their he didn't call on any of them. Okay, so we're raising our hands. I'm talking about like every paragraph, right? He would just skip us, you know, and I think he was doing that on purpose because he would call on everybody in the back, everybody on the sides, nobody in the middle. You know, he would call on his children, of course. He would call on his wife. I think he was just being an asshole that day. Well, anyway, after the watchtower study was over, my brother, he was a little sad, and then the kids that were in front of us, one of the little boys was crying because he didn't get called on. My mother was fuming. I even during prayer, I could see her breathing extremely hard. Like during prayer, she was just livid. Like you could almost see her face turning red. So as soon as she said amen, I already knew something was about to happen, but I just didn't know. Oh, for sure. So she went up to the elder before he could even get off of the stage. I couldn't exactly hear everything because, after prayer, people start talking and whatever. She started yelling at him like, how come you ain't calling on none of us? How come you didn't call on us? We raised our hands 50 times and you did not call. And I mean, she's just like screaming, and to the point where people are actually starting to look at her. And the elder was like, why are you pointing fingers at me? I've been an elder for 30 years. I've been in the truth for 30 years or whatever. Not an elder, but he's been in the truth for 30 years. And he's saying that like he better than her or something. He's like, I've been in the truth for 30 years. I don't know what you're talking about. And she was like, well, you still got a lot to learn. So then the other elders came by and kind of like, almost had to hold her back. So they sent her to the back room. Me and my brother are just like, oh my goodness, what is going on? So they had to calm her down. She was like extremely mad that day. I don't know what happened, but eventually, after I think about a few months later, the circuit overseer got rid of him after a while. So yeah, that's one of the fiascos that my mother went through with one of the elders. There's another one, but I'm not gonna mention it in this video. But I'm serious. She was just so mad. I thought a couple of cuss words was gonna come flying out of her mouth, but she was mad. And then at the car ride home, she's talking about, this world is already discouraging us, and this world is already beating us down. And I don't need that in the Kingdom Hall. I need to see encouragement and this and that and the other, because we get enough of that in the world. And I was like, wow. But looking back, when she started saying the discouragement of the world, and the world beats us down and then beats us up, I'm looking back, like, at first, when I was young, I had to been about like maybe 13 or 14 or 15, around that age when this happened. Okay. And when she said that, I believed her. I'm like, yeah, this world is already discouraging us, and this world beats us down. We do need that encouragement at the meetings and things like that. But now, looking back, it's more of the elders are beating the witnesses down, and being discouraging, because think about it. Can you even go through a meeting without them talking about something negative about the world? Have you ever been to a meeting where they don't talk about how terrible the world is? Excuse me, I'm sipping my coffee right quick. But they always have to point out the negative of everything outside of the organization. Every single meeting, there's no meeting where they don't put down another religion or it's always we do this, and quote unquote Christendom does that. Jehovah does this, Satan does that. Like, could there be a meeting where we don't talk about quote unquote worldly people or organizations like a dog? Why does JW.org feel like, well, it wasn't JW.org back in the day, but they still do the same thing? Why do they feel like they always have to compare themselves to other religions? That's kind of competitive, if you ask me. How come we can't just, talk about love and peace and happiness without having to talk about gloom and doom? And I think it's because they're trying to heighten the importance of JW.org. So if they down and browbeat all these other religions, it make them, they believe it makes them look better. And if you're a blind rank and file, you're gonna believe it. Just keep putting down everybody else and keep putting us up. And that can mess with the psychology of Jehovah's Witnesses, which is why my mother, I think she snapped so hard, because she thinks that the organization is supposed to be all good all the time, which that's what they teach. But at the same time, you got a couple of not a couple, you got quite a few rotten apples. Matter of fact, there's 7 rotten apples in New York right now that's running this organization. And it almost shocks Jehovah's Witnesses, because we expect such, a high, where the organization is supposed to be put on this high pedestal, and and so I guess she kind of was like disappointed. Me, I'm gonna be honest with you. Even though I was sad, even though I didn't get called on, my brother, he was sad too. And then the little boy in front of us, I think that's what got her the most, was when the little boy started crying because he didn't get called on. And that kind of made me feel sad too. I'm like, oh, he didn't get called on. And that, I think that's what made her mad, because she's very overprotective. She has such a kind heart, rest her soul. She has such a kind heart, and she loved kids. So whenever she saw a child in danger or something, she'll do anything and everything to help them out. Little does she know, the organization, oh my goodness, she didn't know any of the Australian Royal Commission or anything like that before she passed away. But if she did, oh my goodness, she would probably be furious, But I didn't know about it either until, like I said, a year ago, maybe a little less than a year ago. But anyway, yeah. when she saw the little boy crying, that kind of, she went off after that, you know. But yeah, this organization ain't you know candy and flowers and roses at all. And also, any religion, like I was saying earlier, any religion that puts down all other religions and brings themselves up, you know, I think that's a little immature. That's like me saying, "Oh, I'm better than you because you're this and you're that, and then you're the other, but I'm better because I do this and I do that. You don't do this, you don't do that." It's like a it's like a narcissist. You know, this is a very narcissistic organization. So I'm not surprised now. You know, but you know when. Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. Uh, I'm sorry, I'm just going everywhere. It's Friday. uh, but yeah, so we were kind of like, you know, because when you're 13, 14, you're kind of like, oh my goodness, my mother. I was embarrassed, you know. Yeah, oh, my brother was embarrassed. It was embarrassing because sometimes my mother do embarrassing things, you know. Oh man, I wonder, should I add the embarrassing comment that my mother gave one day. She was getting into a little argument with my husband. Wow, no, her husband, my dad. And you know they were bickering, and I guess she needed to vent at the watchtower study. Either it was the watchtower study, or yeah, it had to have been the watchtower study because we didn't have. It was, I remember it being at the Kingdom Hall. So I think the watchtower was talking about family life or whatever, and my mother, she started venting to the entire congregation about how her and her husband were getting into an argument, and talking about how he opposes the truth, the quote unquote truth, and this and that and the other. And you know, I think she was still fresh into the truth. And you know, she was just venting to the entire congregation about the argument she had about um, her and my dad bickering about, you know, him not agreeing with uh, Watchtower's teachings. Okay, after the Watchtower study was over, they you know tapped her on her shoulder and said, you know, hey, come with us. And I'm like, oh my goodness, again. I'm like, so after she left the elders room, I'm like, what happened? She was like, well, they told me not to say anything like that in the comments. Um, they, you know, in the comments about your dad opposing the organization. I'm like, wow, they got that much control over the commenting. See, they tried to check my mother several times, and it's like, you can't be yourself. You can't vent. You can't pour out your real, true, 100% feelings over the microphone. You know, especially at the Kingdom Hall, you can't. But at the same time, they don't want you to go to any marriage counseling, and then like they I was speaking with one of a former not a former but a YouTuber, a fellow YouTuber, about this, about the shepherding calls, and I had made a video about it a couple of videos ago. Shout out to Candace Lambert. I was talking to her about it, and we were talking about how they everything is so scripted with the shepherding calls. It's not encouraging. Everything is scripted. You can't get a word in. All they do is shuffle through Bible scriptures and pray over you like that's gonna solve anything. You know, but you need more than Bible scripture to you know, to deal with marital issues. You know, they think that the threefold core, which is God, they think that's just the end all be all of solving a marriage, but it's not. You know, you need a whole lot more than that, but they don't. So where's she gonna vent at? You know, she used to have a friend that she used to vent to all the time. You know, over the phone, because I mean, she can't vent to the elders. They don't want her to go to marriage counseling. So what does she do? She's always on the phone with her friends. You know, venting out things, which I believe that's not even a good thing either, because you never know what they could be talking about, yapping, you know, to other people. You know, so you can't even really trust them. You know, so my mother, she when it came to certain things, you know, the elders really didn't solve her problems the way she wanted to, other than the time the elder got removed from the congregation, you know, a couple of months after she had that incident with him, you know. But other than that, you know, you can't really give angry comments at the watchtower study, you know. You don't want to startle nobody. You don't want to stumble nobody. They always worried about who you gonna stumble, you know. And you going off script. You supposed to say what's on the paragraph, you know, and you supposed to sugarcoat your comments all the time. All the time. Sugarcoat and go by the script. Like, what's the point of a study then? Like, what's the point of raising your hand? What's the point of even the watchtower study? All you gotta do is read. You don't even have to go to Kingdom Hall. Just after the public discourse, just go home. You know? It's just, like I said, it's an indoctrination session. And they tried it. They tried it with my mama. They really did. You know. But, I mean, at the same time, she stayed, quote unquote, faithful to the end. That's what's on her obituary. You know, she served Watchtower for 24 years. So, hey, it is what it is. I'm just, even though she's passed and gone, I'm kind of glad that she's no longer in it. Even though it's sad that she had to die, you know, in order for it to be that way, I have the opportunity to actually live. I'm still P.I.M.O, physically and mentally out, but like I say, I've been living the way I want to live this year. I've been going to Thanksgiving. I've been going to, and like I said, I'm going to go to Christmas dinner with my family, and this and that and the other, and I'm just going to continue to do what I do. But yeah, that's just what I want to talk about. You know, the issues that my mom went through when it came to her problems and things like that within the congregation. But all right, I hope you enjoyed this rant, and I will talk to you later. And question everything. Bye bye.